Okay. Now you can see from last night, I've got most of the rust off of it already. What I did was I first initially cleaned it with some Dawn dish soap to knock anything loose off of these pliers. And then I used some of that, well, if I could keep the phone up. Then I used some of that Bars powder that you use to like clean the kitchen sink and stuff. Scrubbed it down, took some of the rust off, and then I dipped it in CLR and I let it sit for a little while and then scrubbed some more of the rust off of it. And then this morning when I woke up, I dropped it down in a baggie of CLR, and you can see from this point here, there's a line right here. That line is where that baggie had the CLR up to, and I wanted to show you guys the difference between it. See how it's more dark right here, and then down here it's lighter. This is that second coating of CLR from here down. And it took most of the residual rust and stuff off of it in general. You know, I've seen people say use vinegar and stuff like that and let it sit 24 hours and what have you, but the CLR is here, so why not use it, right? So that's what I did. So now what I want to try to do is I'm going to try to clean it up and polish it up some. Let me see if I got... Okay, so here we go. Let me turn the... I didn't realize the Wi-Fi wasn't on, that's why. Let me know if that cleans it up. The Wi-Fi was not turned on and the cell phone signal is very, very low in the house. That should have cleaned it up a lot. So as I was showing you guys the line this morning where I dropped it into the CLR, you can see how it's this line, and then there's a couple lines here. This was last night. This was the first stage. You can see how it's kind of darker and more rusty looking here. The second stage was here, and then this morning the third stage is here. How it's nice and dull looking, but there's not so much rust on the end of it anymore. There's multiple stages of dipping it in CLR. So we're going to try to clean it up some. And I'm going to use that Bauer drill with some of these finer, really soft brass. Let's see what happens. See if I have to go to the steel or just keep it brass. See what happens. Oh yeah. I may have to step it up to the... Just taking all that away. I might have to step up to something a little bit more rough to get inside the pitting, or maybe even dip it back in the CLR one more time. I'm going to try it and see what it does with something heavier. Just to see if it, because it's really fine right there. It is cleaning and it's doing what it's supposed to, but I wonder if we can, something will get in there, you know, that's better. Just be real careful, you know, don't try to force it. Just let it do its thing real lightly. It's working and it ain't putting any deep scratches in it. It's really nice, actually. Oh, got a little crazy right there. Got away from me. The stuff, the messes we make on camera. Look at that though. Look how it's polishing all that up. It's like new. There's no scratches in it. There's no nothing in it. It's like brand new. It got away from me, folks. Don't try this at home. Let me go to the softer brush. What do you mean by I won the battle? I don't know what that means. I get it, man. I'm not looking for y'all to sit here and be my daddy, though. So just sit back and watch and enjoy me screw up and let that be it. But I'm not looking for an internet database full of grandpa daddies. I'm looking for y'all to be here and support me as a friend and stuff like that, or a subscriber. I don't need a bunch of daddies on here. I don't know if you just tuned in or not, man, but I pulled out a package of brass brushes as well. Oh yeah. Oh, stop getting so excited, Rich. Then you won't get the towel wrapped up in there. There it is. That's the name I was looking for right there. Check it out. The name came back. Made in the USA came back. Number 18 came back. All that, all the information is now showing on there where it wouldn't show before. I wonder if I'd get in there real nice and clean and try to get some of this imperfection a little bit more off the name right here. But it's going to be hard because there's a couple gouges in it. And you can see right there it says Lectrolite number 218 made in the USA. This towel is it's some kind of like it's some kind of woman's hair towel or something like that. Huh? Or whatever it is, it don't matter. This thing won't stay down on this table. No, it's all right. We'll make it work. Look at that. That's nice. That's real nice. That's turning out nice. These don't go for nothing. You can find these same number 218 8¼ pliers online for like, you can find them as cheap as $4.99. They literally don't go for anything. They're not of any value to somebody like as a collector series or something like that. When I went online last night, I looked up Loctite number 218 and I found them from like $3.99 all the way up to $12.99, depending on how rusty they were. They don't really sell for anything. I should do that actually. I don't know if I'm... Look how much more shiny the brass brush makes it. I hate this thing. Do you have the tape or something? Because it won't stop falling over. I can't get a good suction on this thing at all. Yeah. I probably just need one piece right in, yeah,
Okay.
right there in the back. That's it. All right, so we won't fall anymore. We had to duct tape it. Battery down, battery down. Let's put it on the charger, and then we'll do some work by hand. Oh, your mama's got her drill up there. Ready for this old nasty, big, old, goofy Craftsman? This sucker will run though. You know, some old man pulled up next to me. I'm not looking at the screen right now, guys. I'll look at it in a second. I need to try to get as much of this done as possible. This old man pulled up next to me in a white town car. And I started recording because the guy looks at me, and he looks at me and he nods, and I started recording just after he did this, and I was like, is this old man seriously about to try to give me the beans? He's in a town car at the light, and I'm in a town car at the light, except mine's got, you know, gears and tuned and everything else. This old man looks like he's about to give me the beans. And I was like, I can't let this happen. I can't let this old man take off and just leave me at this light in this white town car that has never had nothing done to it. So I give him the jump. As soon as the light turned green, this sucker knew exactly what he was doing, man. He nailed the throttle. He already brake torqued it. He was preloading. He knew exactly what to do. And as soon as he jumped, he pulled like almost a half car length on me when he jumped. And then I was like, oh, hell no. So I mashed the throttle, and I 373 gear, 93 octane tune, yada, yada, yada. Took off and left this old man. He pulls up next to me at the next light, and he kind of gives me that head nod like, okay, all right. And then he wants to try to do it again, and I had to give him the beans again. But I recorded my initial thoughts while all this was going on. So I actually got some of the footage stored on my phone, and I was like, well, I wonder if everybody wants to see kind of like the whole thought process of what was going on at the time, and this old man trying to feel like he was, like he still wanted that inner drag racer to come out of him, because it just made me so happy that he would even pull up next to me and look at me and be like, "You want to go, bro? Like, let's do this, man." And although I beat the snot out of that thing because of the way mine's been coming together, he got a, I got a smile out of him and stuff like that. I made him feel like he was young again, and I was like, man, this is pretty cool. Honestly though, I feel like this Craftsman makes a lot less noise than that Bauer does. This is a nice tool, don't get me wrong, and it's probably stronger. But I feel like overall using this Craftsman, it's a lot quieter and it's actually a lot faster and high speed than that Bauer is. Yeah, I know, but I'm doing this at the kitchen table, I don't have it's my day off. I'm just trying to relax and hang out with everybody and put out some content, so it's kind of we're using what we got right now. At first I thought there were some numbers right here on this handle, because as you clean it more you start to see like there was a little stamping right here at some point. Looks like L13, I don't know if it's L1380. Looks like there's some stamping on the side. If you guys want me to put the footage out, I mean, I had to come up with some kind of, catchy name or something for it. But man, he wanted to give me the beans, that's for sure. But luckily, my town car was it's built up a little bit, exhaust and all that other stuff. So it was a little quicker than his, or quite a bit quicker than his. Because I sure would have felt bad if that stock town car would have took off and left me. Then there's another part of me saying I probably should have just let him win, but then I'm like, nah, you can't just purposely lose. What made you get into Fords? I do watch Uncle Tony. Oh, I've seen Uncle Tony's Garage. I don't just go looking for Uncle Tony's Garage. People have shared videos of his. People have shared videos of his with me, and I think he's a really good guy. I mean, I really like his videos. He's very knowledgeable, very smart. Says it like it is kind of guy. I like that about people. I like people that just speak their mind, even if it's wrong or it doesn't sound right. I just like to hear people say exactly what's on their mind, and that's what he does. I don't like any of that beating around the bush, eating around the tush stuff. Say what's on your mind. that time, sucker. He got me again. That sucker. He got me again. Now, me and you are going to come to terms eventually here, and you're going to stop doing that. You understand me? We're going to come to terms here, and you're going to stop doing that. If I have to tell you again, I'm going to burn you in the backyard. Now, knock it off. Maybe you just ain't had your Red Bull on, I'm not sure. Knock it off. I'll tell you again. Pudding Tane asked me again, I'll tell you this thing. She's coming along very nicely. I think this damn Craftsman battery lasted longer than that. The Bauer one. I could dip them again just to see if there's any, but I don't really think I need to. Internship?
Yeah, I gotta pick up pajamas too.
She got a short day.
Yeah, I'm late till 3.
polished up real nice. The teeth cleaned up nice. All that junk, rotten stuff that was in the teeth is completely gone. The brass brush is probably the better bet because it's actually they cleaned it all up for the most part. I could try to throw some polish on it and see what happens. Just to see what comes of it. Oh, wow. It's actually giving it a lot of that natural steel look back and getting rid of all that brass. So it's all the rust is gone, but you get your steel back without all the shiny brass look. It's really smooth. Very smooth. Oh yeah. Look at it. It took all the the pitted imperfections and stuff away. Right here in this channel. Cleaned everything out. And it's giving it back that natural steel look and got rid of the copper color that was on the outside of the steel. Yeah, it's doing a good job actually. There we go. Now you can actually read the name way better. Now that it's been cleaned and polished, you can actually see where it says Lectrolite number 218 now. That's nice. I like that the natural steel finish the best, rather than that copper all over it, because it's nice and shiny and polished now. It still has its little pitting and stuff in it that I'm not going to be able to get rid of, but it's 1,000% better than what it was. You can read everything in the handle now. Come on, damn it. Cooperate with me here. There we go. Got all the copper out of there. That's turning out really, really, really nice. The more I polish it, the nicer it's getting. Look how nice that's turning out, just down the side of that handle. Cleaned out almost all the pitting. A lot of the pitting's actually gone. It's like it cleaned out the debris, so it kind of hides a lot of it. Okay. Wow. It's pretty crazy how just some cleaning. And these are awesome. I really love these pliers, man. They they're nice. I wonder what she's gonna say when she sees them, because they were rusted shut almost last night, and today they got a little polish to them, a little shine, and there's no more rust on them. I bet you she's gonna be happy to see her dad's pliers all cleaned up, something, memorable like this. Bet you it's probably one of the only things other than the house that he's left her. Anyhow, this came out great. I'm very pleased with it. Nice and turned out great. What can I say? So they just don't make them like they used to, right? Well, time for the ugly mug. I used these last night and I was pretty impressed with them. That's why I wanted to go through all this. Seeing as I do what I do every day, and a lot of you guys do the same thing, I wanted to try it, you know, just grab this old set of pliers, and when I put them in my hand, I was like, wait a second, why does that feel so good? The fact that the grips and everything are so wide, and the way their contour just fits right in my hand perfectly. So I went up, and the first thing I do whenever I pick up a pair of these Slipjoint pliers is I'll grab them, and then my finger goes right in between almost every single time, because, you know, that's how I'm working with them all the time. And I was like, man, the contour of this thing, the way my hand just kind of slid right in there and went right to where I normally will grab a pair of pliers, and I'm sitting there grabbing them. I was like, man, this feels like, I mean, I could just be in something grabbing and pulling and doing whatever I need to do, or just wrenching, and it just felt comfortable. And how the material's more rounded and stuff, and it doesn't have a bunch of junk and stuff all over it. I was super impressed with them. They feel really nice. They're very, very, very nice. That's it for the live stream. Just wanted to clean them up, polish them up, use some Harbor Freight cheap junk, and brought them back to life. I would, you know, go ahead and try to get all the little small pitting and stuff all the way down, but there's no need to. It's perfectly fine exactly the way it is. I just wanted them cleaned up, all the rust and stuff off of them, bring them back to life to where they're moving nice and easy. The good thing about using them little brass brushes, because whenever you've got it on the drill, is that brass will actually slide up underneath that joint as you're spinning it, and it will clean the material out from behind the joint. That's why I kept working in that area and then flipping it around and working the other area, because there was rust built up all the way back underneath that joint. But once I went to the brass brush, it's so soft, it was just sweeping it all right out of there. And now with them polished with that compound, it's really made the material very smooth. So when you grab it, it's like, it just feels good. It's weird. It's really weird how when I grab it, it makes me feel weird. It's like, makes me feel special. Yeah, I've heard about that. We'll see. We'll see what happens whenever she gets home. When she gets home and she sees, I mean, everything's legible now. You can see the name completely, the number, and you know what else smells really good, and I don't know why I have this attraction to it, is even some of the guys at the shop say the same thing, is whenever you spray that penetrating oil freeze off, it has a pine sol smell. So whenever you're spraying it, it don't smell like chemicals. It almost smells like you're cleaning your bathroom or your kitchen or something like that. I'm like, who's spraying the freeze off? I smell the pine sol. That freeze off smells like that. It's got like that house fragrance cleaning smell. It doesn't smell like a chemical that you would use in the field. And then what's the other thing that I recently used? The Valvoline induction cleaner. Whenever you open the Valvoline induction cleaner, it's got a menthol smell, but it also smells like a paint thinner at the same time. Yeah, CRC makes it, and it's wonderful. I mean, I sometimes prefer the freeze off versus like WD-40 or Panther Piss. Well, I mean, if y'all, that's it. I ain't got nothing else to really talk about unless we're gonna sit on here and shoot the shit, which I don't mind. But Nobody's home right now, so we can get off of here and talk again later, or we can just be done with the live stream and stuff for the day, because I've done quite a bit of it lately. I've heard of Kimball. I hate the smell. Like, I don't mind the smell of diesel exhaust, don't get me wrong, but I start getting a headache. That's the part that I hate, because it really starts making my head hurt. As many years as I've spent around diesel exhaust, after too long of messing around with it, I just can't stand sitting there just breathing it in. I start getting a headache. The front of my head starts hurting around my eyes and stuff. I appreciate that, Chris. I'm just trying to be me. I'm not trying to be the best. I'm just trying to be me. I ain't got nothing to do today, so I figured out, why not do some live streaming, just, mess with some old tools and stuff and see what we can do with them. Just with probably the buffing, the clay and the brass brushes and stuff, probably 12, 13 bucks. And then a little thing of CLR. Basically brought these back to life. And now they're perfect. Perfect. I just want to walk around the house holding them. I don't know why, man. It's just something about these pliers, these slip joint pliers. They feel good. I want them in my toolbox. I don't want her to have them. And I know that's selfish, but I'm like, man, I really want these. I should just get a set. There was a pair online last night the guy was selling for $4.99. Yeah, they were completely rusted up and all grayed out. Not rusted up, but they were all just grayed out completely. You can tell they needed some major, major, major cleaning. Like, they were worse than these, except these had rust. I probably should. I should just buy a bunch of them and clean them all up and polish them up like this and then send them out to my subscribers as like a giveaway. Just go buy a bunch of them. Buy like number 216s and 218s, the 6.5 inch and the 8.25 inch, and just clean them and polish them all up and then send them out and just give them. These are nice, man. I really, really, really enjoy this. I don't, personally, the new tools that have like all the rubber and stuff on the handles, I don't mind the fact that they fit your hand and you can really grip into them. But I find whenever I take up a lot of space like that and there's a lot of rubber over the handles and it's not like a metal tool, you're taking up some of my leverage. So when I can really grab my tool and I can wrap my hand around it, I feel like I'm pushing more into the raw product itself, and I can really get a better grip on it when it doesn't have a bunch of rubber on it. I know some people don't agree with that, but me, myself, when I grabbed those bolts and stuff last night, and I grabbed this sucker and I grabbed onto it, and I was like, man, that feels good because I can really grip my hand into it and use more of my muscles of pulling it together. And I felt like it was just awesome. Being able to use these without all the rubber and stuff all over the handle. I have that Milwaukee Sawzall from the 80s, the early 80s. I don't know how to go about really doing that. I thought about trying to restore the old box it's got that metal box that it came in that has like the slotted channel and everything. It's all still the original equipment. It has the original drills and saw blades that the old man had in the case before he died. When I got it at the estate sale, it's all still in there, everything. And the Milwaukee Sawzall still works. Somebody was giving me grief the other day and said, what are you to do with that old thing? And I said, that old Sawzall will outwork any of them new ones that you have. And he says, What are you talking about? The new ones are so much more powerful and efficient. I said, yeah, but you have to remember, this has been running since the 80s. This is still like new from the 80s. I guarantee you 10 years from now that a battery operated Sawzall that you're claiming has so much power and everything else won't be running. You'll be replacing it. I guarantee it. So I went over to a piece of exhaust pipe and I just cut it right in two. I try to be as involved as I can, but a lot of people, they try to get too personal, too personable with me. I think you can say, and a lot of them think that I'm going to be able to work miracles for them. I have people that want to come by the shop all the time, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know Rich is going to get this covered under warranty." I don't have some kind of superior warranty power, or I can just snap my fingers and call the shots. If it fits in warranty, it fits in warranty. If it doesn't fit in warranty, it doesn't fit in warranty. I can't make the call for people, but people see me on here being honest and open and stuff to a fault, and they think that I'm going to be able to make something happen that 3 or 4 other shops didn't make happen. I can't do that. And then if I did do that, there would be a suit. There would definitely be an investigation from Ford, because they'd be like, well, why was this at 3 other shops and it got declined, but then it came to you, and you got it, or you approved it? No, warranty declined. Your dealership's going to have to pay $3,000 worth of repairs. People honestly think I have that kind of power, and I don't. And I can't jeopardize my job because of my personal relationship with somebody, or how close I get with my subscribers online. I can't. It's always going to have to be my job first, because that's the only way that I have the option to do this. So I don't. I do have to stay somewhat distant, and I still get subscribers that bring their vehicles by my shop all the time and stuff like that, or by the dealership all the time, and we get them fixed and taken care of. But there's only so much I can do in certain situations. Somebody came to the shop and they had a long list of stuff that had to be done. I can't take care of everything all the time. It's out of my power. Some things apply under warranty and some things don't. I can't get everything covered, and I don't want to ever get that comfortable with somebody to where they think they can come to me and it's definitely going to be covered because the Ford boss said it's covered. No, it doesn't work that way. I'm still just a little peon on the spectrum. There's people with much more power than me that call the shots. It ain't me. This is so nice. Just sitting here feeling this after putting that polish on it. And I probably didn't even do this completely. I don't know if I did this super correct or not, but I've watched other guys do it. Well, they'll take their polishing wheel and they'll pull polish onto it and they'll polish the metal. And then once they're done and everything's pretty much polished, they'll take like a tool and clean off the wheel to knock all the residual dirty stuff off, and they'll use the dry part, the clean part, and they'll repolish back over it again just to give it that last shine. I mean, I'm just trying to mimic what I've seen other people do. I've actually never even used a polishing wheel up until like a couple months ago. I had some old snap-on wrenches that I wanted to polish up, and that's how I used it. Yeah, that's true. American made. I'm gonna set it right on the counter, so as soon as she comes in the door, she'll look at it and be like, "Oh my God!" I bet you there's some more stuff out there I could probably get my hands into. I got a spot that won't come off of here. There it is. It came off. I thought about putting a set of real thin grips on here for her, but then I was like, that would destroy the feel of the metal overall. Probably not a great idea to do that. Just leave it the way it is, because I'm pretty sure all the old tools back in the day, that's how I seen it. When you look at all the old SK tools and the Proto tools and all the old Lectrolite tools, the old snap-on tools and stuff like that, there wasn't no rubber on the handles. I mean, it was just all, you just got raw tools. You got metal tools. And they didn't come apart. They typically lasted a really long time. What's going on, Giovanni? The MMO works, man. That stuff works miracles, especially if you're running a little bit at a time. That's why when somebody else said recently that they go to a lot of the garage sales and stuff and buy up all the old tools. And it's not a bad idea. I don't know how many estate sales I've seen, just buckets and buckets of old tools where everybody's just passing by, they're not even buying them. You know, that's how I got that old US General or whatever it is generator that I had, that 2200 watt, the one that I just cleaned up and went through all the electrical connections and stuff. I think it's back from the 80s, and it's got that Robin motor on it, and it's just super quiet. Super, super, super quiet, and it runs super good. And I just got the new air filter housing and stuff in. And I've been meaning to talk about this for a long time, but, you know, made in the USA, made in Japan, made in Taiwan, they all mean something, right? And back in the day, everybody had good quality stuff pretty much when it came to steel and metal and stuff like that. You could get an American made in the USA generator, but then when you go start pulling the air filter and stuff apart, you actually see the stamping right on it. It says made in Korea, made in Taiwan, made in Japan, but it says made in the USA. It wasn't necessarily every single part of that product was made in the USA. The generator that I have is made in the USA, but they use parts on that generator that are not from the USA. If you look at like the cover that goes over the front of the engine, I think it's stamped like Taiwan or India or something like that. And then if you look at the air cleaner, it's stamped made in Japan, but it still has the original factory number that came with the generator. So a lot of people they get tied up into this made in the USA, unless it's like a tool and there's only one piece to that tool like this I can see 100% made in the USA. But when you have multiple parts going on like a small engine or something like that, and it says made in the USA, I don't always count on the entirety of that engine being made in the USA, because typically that's not the case. Even this old 80s model generator that said made in the USA, there's several parts on it that are not even, they're assembled, made from other parts of the world. But it's still made, like the motor itself and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with tools and stuff from other places. I never have. I try to buy stuff that's predominantly made and sold in the USA, because I want to support where we live more than anywhere else, obviously. But at the same time, I'm not afraid to buy something that's made somewhere else. If it works and it's of good quality, that's all I care about. The other stuff where people, they kind of want you to jump on the bandwagon and stuff, I'm my own individual person. I've never been a bandwagon jumper. I don't always have to have something made in the USA. If it's a good product, I'll buy it. Everybody sees military tattoos and everything else on me, my 10th Mountain tattoo, and they hear I'm a veteran and stuff like that, and I'm more of a constitutionalist than anything, and they automatically think, well, because of that, I'm this political party supporter, I'm a that political party supporter. No, it's not the case. I think in life in general, we judge things, we prejudge things, and we continue to judge things when we just don't see things for what they are. Just be a good person. I don't care about anything else. Have a good product. I don't care about anything else. That's just how I live my life. It doesn't have to be from, this party or that party or the USA or this color or that color. Just be a good person. That's just how I am. I'd like to see some of those old tools, Chris. That'd be interesting. Grant said that Japanese tools are usually good. I hear a lot of good stuff about Japanese tools. A lot of people say if you can put your hands on like Japanese, like their ratcheting wrenches and stuff like that, you'll never want to use anything else. They're so tight and clean. So I mean, yeah. That's right. Exactly what Grant said. The best tool at the end of the day is a tool used to get the job done. That's all that matters. The job is done, the customer's happy, they get their product back, their car back, whatever it is, and that tool, who cares where it's from, just made you money. That's all that matters. Nope, I wasn't stationed in Fort Drum. I was in when Second ACR disbanded in Louisiana, they created 10th Mountain, and 10th Mountain was created in their spot, and 2nd Brigade, 4th Infantry Regiment. We were right next to 230. They talked about for years and years and years that they were going to move us back to Drum with everybody else, but it never happened. There was a lot of promises made. For years and years and years, that's what they did, and they never would move us up there with them. They just never had the space. They started doing all their building and stuff like that, but it was never, they never had got to a point where our unit was going to be moved out of Louisiana and brought up to basically the mothership, Drum. Never happened. You're welcome. I did my OSUT in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and that was pretty interesting because when I was there, it was freezing. It was cold. We had about 6 to 8 inches of ice on the ground. The post got shut down for a long time. It's all flat ground out there, so whenever the wind would roll through, it would roll through something fierce. I mean, it would freeze buildings and everything. The road would freeze. All kinds of stuff would freeze. A lot of times they weren't ready for it when it would happen. A lot of elk and stuff out in that area. I remember one day I was out on a mountain, and I was qualifying for my live fire, and I had the howitzers out behind me to the side across the field, and it was my go, and I'm up there on the mountain, and I'm going to call for fire, and they give me a target out there, and they said your target is the third target out, or they like target Charlie. So I'm looking at target Charlie out there in my binoculars, but I can't see exactly where it's at. So you got to go to your map. You got to use terrain association. This thing's almost 4 miles out from where I'm at. I'm afraid that I'm going to miss the target completely, but I was the best qualifier in the class, so they gave me the hardest targets to make it harder for me when I qualified. So all my stuff was done in classroom, but I'm real good with terrain association. I'm real good with land nav and stuff like that. I'm real good with like thinking under pressure and getting out of real tough situations without freaking out. So my target's almost, I think it was something like close to 4 miles away. And I could see the start of a mountain in the background, like a big hill mountain kind of area. And I'm looking to see, okay, there's water coming through right behind it. There's a tree line right next to it. So I'm looking at my map, and I'm like, all right, so here's the base of the mountain. Here's the water line. Here's the tree line coming in. And my target is right at the foot of where almost all those meet. So if I try to refine what's my direction, okay, I look at my direction here, I go put my protractor and stuff on the map. I'm looking for where my location is on the map. I find my direction on the map. I terrain associate where the target's at. So I do direction and distance, and I come up with a rough grid coordinates, right? So I'm sitting there and I get on the horn, Warthog 1-1, it's if I'm talking to aircraft or whatever it is, let's just pretend I'm talking to aircraft. Warthog 1-1, this is Black Hawk 4-7 Romeo, just fire over, and then I go through my call sequence and stuff like that and call everything out. And it was literally one round impact. It impacted the front of the vehicle the first try out. And the drill instructors that were behind me were so excited about what I had just done. You hear them start screaming in the background. And the one that's closest to me, the one that was really doing most of the training with us, he's screaming at the top of his lungs, "Woo, that's my boy, that's my..." He was screaming and screaming and screaming, right? So I'm out there and, we're calling for fire and stuff like that. And they give me an easier target after that because I hit the harder target on a 1-round hit. And then I did when I got to my unit after everything was said and done, I had a certificate for being the #1 qualifier in class. And my platoon leader was like, "Oh, so you think you're high speed and you think you're just better than everybody else?" And I said, "No, Sergeant, that's not what I said." And he said, "Well, seems to me when you show up with a piece of paper and stuff." I said, "I didn't show anybody that paper, Sergeant. You asked for it." And he said, "Well, I see it in your record here that you qualified, top of your class and everything else." And so I did, and I'm proud of it. And he said, "Well, we got a in basically in what do you call it, a welcome party for guys like you that come to the unit." And I was like, "What's that, Sergeant?" He said, "Let's go outside." So we go outside and he says, "You see that tree right there? You're going to qualify." And I said, "Okay, what does it have to do with that tree, Sergeant?" He says, "Well, you're going to qualify on that tree right there. You are going to qualify. Do you not know what that means?" And I said, "No, I don't know what that means." And he said, "Come on, Private." He said, "Are you that green?" I said, "Yep." And he said, "They didn't do anything to you like that in basic training or OSUT?" Or, "Nope." He said, "Well, when I tell you you're going to qualify, you are qualifying, but you are qualifying. You are going to flip upside down on that tree with your legs around that tree and your arms around that tree, and you're going to give me a live call, or you're going to give me a call for fire right now, upside down on that tree. We're going to see how good you are, because most people can't even work their way all the way through it before so much blood rushes to their head they drop from the tree." And I about lost it on that tree. I almost didn't. I made it all the way through my fire mission, stuff hanging upside down on that tree. And from that moment forward, you can tell that I gained a little bit more respect from him. It's like, man, this dude's pretty damn good, man. He's not some pussy private that comes in here from, some city family or something that's never done anything, that made their kids do anything. This kid's good. He's pretty tough. So from then on, they just trusted me to go out with some of the other privates and teach them and stuff like that. And eventually I moved my way up and moved my way up and moved my way up. And I'm pretty well respected within the group of people that did my job as somebody that was pretty high speed under stress. I could handle situations very, very well. So they changed my life. The military really changed my life. It made me stop being a stupid kid, which I never was really a stupid kid, but it kind of straightened me up a lot and it pointed me in the right direction. It really brought my life together and stuff and kind of gave me a path to follow. And I quit letting people walk all over me. I started speaking up for myself. I started helping other people that, that were in need, where before I was always too scared to, and it just changed who I was. It made me a much, much better person. So regardless of the bad stories I have to tell about it, I don't know where I'd be today without it. I'm glad I was there. I'm glad I got to see and do the things that I did and meet the people and build those relationships that I got to build, for sure. Yeah. Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So if y'all don't have any questions, we're going to go ahead and jump off of here. And if you guys want to talk a little bit later, since today's my last day off until Saturday, we can. Maybe we'll jump on later when we got hundreds of people on here and just talk about the industry in general. You guys decide that. If you want to, just let me know, and we'll get everybody on here later. Typically in the evening time, we get 200, 300, 400 people on here all talking. So it's during the middle of the day. Everybody don't have time to be on here. So If you guys all want to get on here later, I'll jump on here later and we can powwow and just have at it. I'd say it's 1:30 my time right now. I mean, we could try to be here, I don't know, something like 7:30, 8 o'clock tonight, if we can talk. Maybe a little later, but maybe like 9 o'clock for a little bit at least. Because I noticed 7:30, 8 o'clock, people are still eating dinner with their families. Well, I appreciate it, guys. I know in the middle of the day you all have stuff to do, but most of you give me your time whenever I'm on, and I thank you for that. So I'm going to jump off of here, and we will convene later. What topic later? What topic are we going to talk about later? Should we talk about? You guys want me to come up with a list, and we just talk about nothing but oil change intervals and service intervals, and just do a live on nothing but service intervals and fluids, the critical component to any vehicle moving. Should we do that? That would be an interesting one. I've not done that yet. I think that would be a good one if I come up with an entire list and just sit down and do nothing but go over that list. I have a list at work. I have a list that's already generated and laminated. I have 2 different ones for 2 different service intervals, but I appreciate that, Aaron. I have one for more highway intervals, and I have another one for more service or severe service intervals that are like what I think the recommendation should be. So you should. I suggest anybody that has any kind of skill on this channel, on YouTube, anybody that has any kind of skill, you're not doing yourself any service by not having your own. I know some of you are probably camera shy, but the best thing to do is get in front of that camera and start talking. You're going to make a lot of mistakes in the beginning, but you're going to brush up on that stuff that's why you see minimal editing in my videos. You rarely see any cuts in my videos. When I start to roll, I roll. Even in the pre-recorded stuff, I don't cut out my mistakes. I don't cut out my little swear words and stuff. Sometimes when I get frustrated, I just roll it all through. And you start getting good at it. You start getting good talking to people. You start getting good talking in front of a camera. Your communication skills get better. It hasn't made me any less of a jerk, because I still am. If I still want to tell people they're idiots, I still tell people that. I just learn how to say it a little different. You know what? Let's jump on here later. I know y'all still some of you probably still working. Probably have the live on your toolbox. My boss is probably creeping on here watching me right now too. You creep. And yeah. Let's just talk later. I'm gonna be bored for the rest of the day. I ain't got nothing to do today. Really. I could go out to the shop, but they don't have. I thought the lift was gonna be finished, but Ann doesn't have the lift finished yet. He doesn't have the wires and stuff ran. Maybe I'll just jump on Call of Duty and just play game the rest of the day, because I don't ever get to do that anymore. Okay. I can do that. I want to get more of the stuff set up at the new shop. My buddy just dropped off his van. Another buddy I think he, either today or tomorrow, he's dropping off his Panther. And then there's a subscriber here that wants me to do a timing job, which we're going to do everything. We're going to do sprockets, chains, tensioners, guides. We're gonna go in the motor and do everything. So that's coming up here soon. So there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. And definitely going to have some content coming from the shop where, I'm not at the dealership. So, yeah. And then this weekend, Saturday, I have a wedding. The diesel tech at our old shop, he's getting married, so I'm going to be at his wedding, so I won't be on so much this weekend. So I'll try to make up for some of that now, because I know a lot of people like hanging out on the weekend. All right, I'm out of here. Aaron, Lon, Jonathan, Grant, Steve, Chris, John, the other Chris, the other Robert. I appreciate y'all. Space Cat, thanks for being here. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Jonathan, I see you. Well, thank y'all for being here. I'll catch y'all. Actually, before we leave, I'm gonna make Chris a moderator, so when he's on here, he could help look out for me, and he's always on here. I got 3 moderators now. All right, guys. I'll catch you later. I'm out.